I'm about to break the first rule of Fight Club.
You do not talk about Fight Club.
Very few movies have had an impact on me in the same way that this movie did. With every rewatch, I always feel like I gain more insight into some valuable gem that I hadn't noticed before. It dives deep into many of life's more philosophical questions and serves as a deep reflection of man's battle against their own identity, freedom, masculinity, existence, and consumerism. Although released more than 20 years ago, this movie remains relevant today with its near-perfect depiction of the timeless and raw societal and natural human principles that we all have to face off against on a daily basis. Being the main antagonist and the anti-hero of the film, Tyler Durden is almost commendable in the most controversial ways imaginable. In comparison to the narrator of Fight Club, he is an eccentric, alpha male, hyper-masculine wolf, directly opposing the sheepish, conforming, dull, and docile personality of the narrator. An ongoing metaphorical distinction between who we are and who we want to be, the desire to be free, confident, and our ideal selves. Despite Durden's anarchist and psychopathic behavior, he still delivers many thought-provoking ideas throughout the film that gets you to reevaluate your own life, almost rewiring and hardening your inner philosophy with his charismatic personality and eye-opening insights into the harsh realities of life. In a way, everything he says and does can be considered to be stoic and has the potential to provide great value to your life in some way by exposing you to ideas everyone tends to ignore. I say never be complete. I say stop being perfect. I say let's evolve. Let the chips fall where they may. We tend to craft our identity around material wealth and social status, that we must always strive to be perfect, that once you achieve a goal that you'll be happy. I know I've told myself this many times before, that once I get that scholarship, that once I get that dream job, that once I have enough money, that once I have that one thing, I'll be happy. According to Zen philosopher Alan Watts, that's all backward. Mark Manson, the author of Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, even talks about this as an extension of Watts's thinking by dubbing this as the feedback loop from hell. By thinking like you always just need a little bit more, you view yourself as incomplete, not having enough, and lacking a life of abundance, thus paradoxically making you sink into a deeper pit of depression and yearning for something more. It's much too often that we aim for a desire, fulfill it, and end up wanting even more in the end. The desires constantly creep in like a stream of never-ending dominoes. The solution? Recognize that you'll never be complete, you'll never feel like you arrived, and you'll never be perfect. So stop trying, live in accordance with the Tao, and just let go. Happiness just might be found there. The things you own end up owning you. Think about everything you own, such as your car, your house, or even your job. Now ask yourself how all of these things might influence your life. You'll notice that the things you own often require the need for extra care or attention. A mortgage to pay off, a job that you hate but have to go to because you feel you can't live sufficiently in your current lifestyle without the security of a steady stream of income, a car that you just have to keep clean, polished, and maintained on a very regular basis. Other things may even consume you entirely, at least in terms of time and effort. In that sense, these things end up owning you by constantly influencing the way you delegate your time towards the maintenance of both your personal image and material possession, rather than spending that time actually experiencing those things that you want to do. You have to ask yourself, are these things actually increasing your self-worth and your happiness? Or is it just giving you that illusion? Maybe once you get rid of all of those things, you might find that you'll no longer care or be consumed by them. They may completely dissipate out of your mind since they're no longer a part of you. Maybe a more viable solution would be just to change your relationship to these things and shift your perspective more onto people and experiences rather than material items. Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing. Like the first monkey shot into space. Everything in this world comes with a price. To achieve any outcome that you want, you'll have to make sacrifices. Like the first monkeys shot into space to study the effects of space travel. Without their death, without their pain, and without their sacrifice, we would have never been able to confidently shoot the first human into space and come as far as we have with space travel today. In order to have a greater tomorrow, you have to give up a part of yourself today, be it time, comfort, sleep, or whatever that one thing is for something that you believe is worth more. What's sad is that society today tries to forsake you of that sacrifice by pushing advertisements that say, lose weight without giving up your favorite foods, get abs in 6 minutes, or my favorite, make $50,000 a month without working hard. These seductive pipe dreams play to our fantasies and rope us into the false belief that we can achieve our biggest dreams without huge commitment or sacrifice, as if things in life really do come that easily. Things seldom do come without sacrifice, but those things are by no means maintained, as we see with people who win the lottery just to flush it all down the drain. Sacrifice is all part of self-sustainability, responsibility, and satisfaction once you achieve your prized outcome. As John C. Maxwell says in his book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, the law of sacrifice is the heart of leadership and monetary growth. He says there is no success without sacrifice. You must keep giving up to stay up. The more you have, the higher cost your sacrifice will be, and the more you lead, the more you'll have to give up. A man at times gets something for nothing, but it will, in his hands, amount to nothing. Frederick Douglass. No fear, no distractions, the ability to let that which does not matter truly slide. The majority of the things that happen outside of your control that plague and infect your thoughts with negativity draws your focus away from that which truly matters, yourself. You have no control over external events, so why allow yourself to get distracted and disturbed by them? Instead, focus on what you can control, which is your response and your own mind. In Stoicism, this concept is known as amor fati, a love of fate. To take that which distracts you and elevates your fears and transform that into strength. To take all things that don't matter nor you have control over and either push them out of your mind or fully accept them as they are. You need to let go of all negative self-talk, all of your fears, and all distractions so that you can have the opportunity to focus entirely on your own purpose, instead of getting drawn out of that focus by something that you simply have no control over. Maybe self-improvement isn't the answer. Maybe self-destruction is the answer. Everyone has this obsession with self-improvement and consume it like it's porn. The issue is that self-improvement almost always points to the acclamation of better goods, a better house, a better job, a better body, or more money. It rarely succeeds in actionably improving upon the conditions of your own life, but rather attempts to try and fit you into the image of what is expected to be the concept of success, causing you to chase a better life rather than actually live a better life. We are improving ourselves to death, and the solution is to stand firm as individuals. If you really want to fit into the shoes of who you want to become, it's essential that you don't try and improve upon a system that you deem is failing. You must shift your perspective. Instead, you need to destroy that person you once were, rise from the ashes like a phoenix, and reconstruct your life entirely from the ground up into the person you truly want yourself to become, in whichever way you want to define it as. It's the destruction of the limiting mindset that you had and adopting the mindset of growth that ultimately matters. The new you will never be equivalent to the old you. You simply just evolve. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. Practicing Stoic and prolific writer Ryan Holiday says that everything in your life that has left you hurting financially, emotionally, or psychologically isn't entirely bad. They shake things up, they force change, and they get you to ask new questions. That being said, you don't have to literally lose everything to really be free. Instead, you can do so by practicing the art of detachment and figuratively letting go of everything that essentially holds you back from growth, your possessions, your accomplishments, and everything that you are attached to. Once you've severed those emotional ties and dependencies on materials and other people, only then can you truly live life freely according to the self-actualizing purpose you have set forth for yourself. If you live life in detachment of everything, then you have the freedom to manufacture and define your own meaning in this world without the pressure of outside influence. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. Brain researcher has found that our brains will literally do its best to shield our minds from existential fear by categorizing death as an unfortunate event that only befalls other people, thus making it something that we vastly ignore. This causes us to unintentionally embrace what those researchers call the escape treadmill, where we instead divert attention away from death by filling our time doing menial tasks and navigating life without truly appreciating the moment. All we're doing is staying busy. The Stoics have a beautiful proverb that they use to combat the constant denial of death and get them to live life more urgently. Memento mori. Remember that you will die. Intentionally making yourself think about death may seem like an awful idea to you. But what if instead of ignoring that fact, fully embracing that reality every single day was actually the key to living a fulfilling life? Ask yourself if what you are doing really means something. You can choose right here, right now, to create a life that's meaningful to you. To do things that have a bearing on your future. To do things that bring you real joy in life. To practice death is to practice freedom. A man who has learned how to die has unlearned how to be a slave. Michel de Montaigne. Although Tyler Durden is a fictional character perceived to be along the lines of an absolute maniac, many of the concepts that he preached are well worth contemplating, as they are not only profound, but influenced by real Buddhist principles. Really, the story underlying FightClub can be instead perceived as a lost man's spiritual journey towards enlightenment. Many people, including myself, are vastly influenced and inspired by the concepts that Tyler Durden preaches throughout the movie in positive ways. In essence, it got me to open up my eyes to all the things in the world that are holding me back and allowed me to come to terms with the harsh truths of our reality. I only hope it does the same for you too.